He's revealing himself to people who are familiar with kind of like Wild West justice. He's revealing himself to a people who have a sense of what's right and what's wrong, but don't necessarily know how to pursue what's right and what's wrong in a way that is absolutely just and absolutely fair. I mean, consider this. In the ancient Egypt and in the ancient Mediterranean, as well as in the Greco-Roman world, what you have is you have the gods and goddesses, and these gods and goddesses are not good. They're not just, they're not fair. And so what you have is power. Power is what rules. What you have is usefulness, utility. Utility is what rules. And here is God who's saying to these people, he's teaching them a new way to be. What he's teaching them is not only a new way to be, he's also teaching them his identity. And his identity is, oh no, I am a God of justice. I am a God who does hear the cry of the poor. I am a God who your actions matter to me. And not only do they matter, but your actions cannot be rooted merely in power or merely in vengeance or merely in usefulness, but your actions must be rooted in justice. And so what we have is God beginning to give these commandments of behavior, of here is how you live in this society, and it's based off of justice first. He's speaking to a community that does not know him, and a community that does not necessarily know that there are restrictions on what you can do to other people. Here's what I mean, is you have the kind of slave labor that those Israelites themselves, those Hebrews themselves, lived under and suffered under for 400 years under the Egyptians. So slavery in that context is completely normal. In fact, it's one of the ways in which, and this is, please forgive me for saying this, but it's one of the ways in which people cared for each other. Here is someone who's, I am completely homeless. I am jobless. I have no prospects. I have nothing to sell. I have nothing to offer, but I can offer myself. I can sell my services. And so one of the things you have is a difference between what you might call chattel slavery and this slavery that, again, it's not like I've heard other people say, oh, I mean the good kind of slavery. Well, not good kind of slavery, but also not the same that we are familiar with in the Far East, and not the same kind of slavery we're familiar with in Europe, and not the same kind of slavery we're familiar with in North America, but a kind that said, I might take it upon myself with no other options to place myself in what you might call indentured servitude to someone who can care for me when I'm serving them. Again, it's not ideal, but that's the whole point, is God has to start somewhere. This is a people that does not know the Lord God and his justice. These are people that do not necessarily remember that in the beginning, God made them male and female. He made them in his image and likeness. This is the people that have to be taught what justice is. They have to be taught what fairness is. They have to be taught what it is to treat another human being, again, with justice. And so this is like lesson one. So keep this in mind, because we're going to continue in the next couple of days to go through some more laws. And these laws might be challenging to us in our sensibilities, but it's kind of like this is the last little thing. If you were taking trigonometry or you're taking calculus in high school or college, and you looked at your little brother or little sister's homework in first or second grade, you wouldn't look at their addition and subtraction. You wouldn't look at their multiplication or division and say, well, that's silly. Why are you spending all this time with 1 + 1 or 2 - 3 - 2? Math can get so much more advanced than this. Well, students have to start somewhere. You have to start at the lowest possible level. Even just, here's what a number is. Let's start counting. And so that's what God is doing right here. He is starting at the lowest possible level that this people are able to accept and begin living. He's going to call them higher, but he first has to come down to their level. He's teaching at level 1, and he's calling them up ultimately to the highest levels, to the level where we say, okay, we're not going to violate justice, but we're choosing mercy over justice, but they have to first know what justice is. He's going to ultimately get them to the point where they're absolutely clear that a human being, a human person is made in God's image and likeness and must always be treated this way. But he has to first say, I'm going to begin doing this by putting some parameters on what you can do to each other. And so here are some rules. If there's someone who is a slave, then there are some parameters. You can't do anything you want with them. They are not truly your property, but they are a human being who's in your employ, essentially, at your service. Same kind of thing when it comes to if you hurt someone else. It's an eye for an eye, not a life for an eye. Hope that makes sense. because this is just the beginning. We're going to get the rest of God's lesson 1 in how to live with other people and how to live in justice as the days continue. Let's keep praying for each other, because especially when we hit some more challenging portions, and maybe I don't even explain it as best as you want me to explain it. Reach out to me. Maybe I can do a better job later on. But we'll keep praying for each other, because this is not just a one-day thing. This is a 365-day thing. We're going to keep walking with each other, keep journeying with each other, and keep praying for each other. My name is Father Mike. I cannot wait to see you tomorrow. God bless.